Bedford, Virginia, to Tucson, Arizona, Minneapolis to LA. This is your favorite home improvement radio hour.
All
the Home Show
East
on
and West.
KCMO. Everybody has a place, big or small, they call home. And every home needs maintenance, repair, and remodeling. Join our host, Tom Bamford, as he guides you through the maze of products, services, and people you need to make your home as cozy as can be. It's The Home Show, KCMO Talk Radio 710 at 103.7 FM.
Welcome, my friends, to another edition of America's Home Improvement Radio Program. Wow, that was pretentious. Hi, I'm Tom Bamford, and today on The Home Show, we're going to take a little break from Kitchen Month. I know how disappointed you are, but even better, I've got the veterinarians in the house with me. From Perimeter Veterinary Center, I've got doctors Andrea Farrell and Tabitha Rager to join us and talk about pets, all about your pet. You might have a question about your pet. If you do, please give us a call. 913-514... I didn't say that right. 576-7710. It's been so long since I did that. 576-7710. Call us with your pet question. Doctors, welcome to the house.
Good to be back, Tom.
It's good to be here.
It has been a long, long time, and we're going to talk about, I've got a few topics in mind. I've got a few things I want to talk about. But first, I want to remind you all that you can send us your questions at homeshow@kcmotalkradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, the KCMO Home Show with Tom Bamford. I did want to say thank you to Abby Rodman, who was our guest for the last 2 weeks, talking about the 7 truths of home remodeling and love. If you missed that, go to kcmotalkradio.com for a replay of those 2 shows. Now, today, dogs and cats are ruling. So let's talk about dogs and cats, Dr. Farrell. What are some of the issues that pop up at this time of year with dogs and cats?
I would say probably the most common thing we see at this time of year are allergy issues. We're still also dealing with various parasites like fleas and ticks, and in the fall, fleas really come out again, so we'll see that. But right at this time of year in August, going into September, lots of allergies. So we're seeing tons of itching and scratching.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And so what are pets typically? Is there anything I can do to eliminate the allergen from the environment?
Not typically. You can sort of decrease their exposure to it, but frequently we're looking at allergies to grasses and various pollens in the air. And obviously dogs especially need time outside and exercise and go to the bathroom and things like that. So
Sure.
You're going to be exposed to some degree. If you have talked with your vet and they think that there's very likely like a grass allergy, for example, wiping their feet when they come in and things like that can be helpful. Taking walks on the sidewalk and going to the bathroom in the grass just, momentarily can be helpful, and avoidance in that way. Most of the time, though, we're going to be looking at some type of management regimen, whether that's antihistamines or certain shampoos, that kind of thing is going to be the most helpful for your pet. First, though, you have to kind of identify what you think the problem is and rule out other issues like parasites or bacterial infections and things like that. But once you've done it, management's key, and that's going to be preventative things like shampoos and antihistamines as a first option.
Dr. Rager, I've given short shrift, frankly, to cats on this radio program. And it's not that I dislike cats entirely. I do like cats. I've lived with some wonderful, wonderful cats. I saw a video the other day of someone actually brushing their cat's teeth. Am I wrong, or is this something that seems fairly recent? I never remember, when I was a young boy, I never remember my vet talking about taking care of my cat or my dog's teeth.
Well, that's a really good point, Tom. And we think back 20 years ago, dogs had dog houses in the backyard and cats stayed on the back porch, and they weren't as clearly members of the family as they are now. We don't see backyard dog houses, and so now we know we're identifying disease and improving quality of life for our pets so they can live longer lives than ever. Now that it's not uncommon to see a large breed dog live into their teen years, as opposed to 4 or 5 years, we do run into things like dental health issues. Dental health is one of the biggest overlooked disease processes that are in American pets. It's estimated that 90% of the patients we see have dental disease. So we know enough now to talk to you about good prevention. Toothbrushing, dental treats approved by the Veterinary Oral Health Council, used every day. And absolutely, now, brushing a cat's teeth is not something I say a lot of our clients are doing, but we do have some that do. There are alternatives to toothbrushing, but in a perfect world, that's the best solution to manage dental care at home. Looking that our pets age about 7 times as fast as we do, that's like 7 years without having any dental care.
Without brushing your teeth.
Yeah, without brushing your teeth. So absolutely, there are lots of dental care options, and having some kind of home dental care for your cat or dog has a lot of value.
And you are listening to The Home Show on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. I have the veterinarians in-house, Doctors Farrell and Rager from Perimeter Veterinary Center out in Lenexa. They are my veterinarians. We take our little dog, Rosie, to see the two of them, and I have taken my past dogs and my past cats to Dr. Farrell as well, so I can highly recommend them. Go on the web. Just go on the web and Google Perimeter Veterinary Center, Lenexa. And
we're actually in Shawnee. Tom.
Oh, Shawnee?
Sorry.
Oh, no.
We're across the street from Lenexa, though, so
You
it's
are.
very confusing.
I think of you as now that I live just right down 87th from you. I think of you as being right there in Lenexa with me.
Most people do.
So you can check that out, and I would recommend them. And you can take advantage of their presence here on the radio show today by calling us at 576-7710, 576-7710, or shoot me an email, homeshow@kcmotalkradio.com. Cats. I have had one extraordinary cat that lived with us and lived a goodly long life. When folks are looking to choose a cat, Dr. Farrell, for their family, what are the things that they should look for?
Well, anytime you're choosing a pet, dog or cat, you have to really think about your lifestyle and activity and how that pet's going to fit into all of that. And so with a cat, ideally cats live indoors these days because there's lots of ways we can provide all the interaction they need. And outdoor cats have so many more risks than indoor cats, and it greatly increases a cat's lifespan to stay inside. So you have to take that into account. I think the thing that most people don't think about the most often, and the biggest reason cats are returned to shelters and rescues, is litter box issues. And so you need to understand that one litter box stuck in the basement is not enough. You have to have one litter box per level of your house. You have to have at least one litter box per cat plus one. So if you have a 3-story house, you need at least 3. If you have 4 cats, you need 5. So you really have to think about that. The placement, are you okay with that being around? Are you going to scoop it every single day like you need to and clean it completely every week? That's the most common surprise to people. It's so frequent people come in and say, my cat won't use her litter box, and you come to find out it's in an undesirable area, or it's got the wrong litter, or there's too many cats in the house for that one litter box and things like that. So really think about if you're okay with the litter box. You also need to think about cats are not just walk around the house, lay around, do their thing. They need play and exercise just like another pet does. So you have to commit some time to that every day because you need to provide that interaction for them. You're not going to probably take your cat on a walk. So you have to have playtime with interactive toys, maybe feeding toys and things like that. So that's important as well. And then we know now, as Dr. Regier was saying a minute ago, you've got to look at things like dental disease and home care for that. Various preventative regimens. Cats get heartworm, they get fleas, they get ticks, they get intestinal parasites just like dogs, and they need those preventatives. So a lot of people used to kind of think, you got a cat, it roamed around the house, it didn't have to go to the vet, and that's very untrue. And that's the biggest reason we see kitties go back to shelters and things is because people didn't understand how much care they need. So something to think about there as far as do you have the time to commit? And, are you going to provide that cat with all the interaction it needs?
That's interesting because, we do associate having a dog with providing a lot of care to the pet and having a cat with providing virtually no care. They're
right.
Totally independent. I will tell you, however, we in our new neighborhood, we moved back in April. In our new neighborhood, we have a lady with a cat that walks on a leash. And I have never seen that before. And the cat seems to doesn't pull at it or anything.
No, if you train a young cat to walk on a leash, they very much enjoy a walk. So if you've taken the time to do it, they will love that just as much as your dog would. That's
what she said, is that the cat just loves to get outside. I worry about pets in our neighborhood because we are right next to Shawnee Mission Park. And right behind our house is quite a large, undeveloped area of land. In fact, there are coyotes, at least in the winter, that stay there. So I do kind of worry about those things. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to continue discussing dogs and cats and pets and other things with my favorite veterinarians from Perimeter Veterinary Center. This is The Home Show on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM.
Hey, this is Greg Knapp, and fall brings a lot of falling leaves, and a lot of them get in your gutter. How would you like to remove gutter cleaning from your chore list forever? Just call up my guys at LeafGuard. See, at LeafGuard, they have the one-piece gutter system. The gutter and the cover all in one piece. Other gutter solutions use covers or screens. They pop into your existing old gutter. Sometimes they even make the clogging problem worse. But LeafGuard comes with a lifetime, transferable, no-clog warranty. If anything ever goes wrong, they come out with their ladders, climb up and check it out for you. You can get 60% off labor and a $100 gas card with a whole home gutter system. They even have special financing with no payments and no interest for 12 months. It's available for qualified buyers. Don't risk life and limb to clean your gutters. Get LeafGuard and you never have to do that chore again. Get a free gutter analysis and find out if LeafGuard is right for your home. 913-204-0001. 913-204-0001. It's 913-204-0001 for LeafGuard.
What an outrage. You've been lied to. Being overweight is not about overeating, not exercising, or a lack of self-control. Diets, gyms, and pills can't fix it. Why? It's not you. It's your hormones. Go to 88skinny.com to view the free presentation created just for you and let Dr. Steven Siskin show you how to overcome the 4 hormonal barriers to weight loss over 40. We're in a weight management crisis that accelerates high blood pressure, bad cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, and even depression. It's killing us because 4 key hormones in both men and women go out of balance and make weight loss impossible unless you know how to fix them. Go to 88skinny.com for Dr. Siskin's free presentation on his proven answer to increased fat burning, decreased hunger, and reduced stress levels. His breakthrough tools are natural, safe, and drug-free.
When I first started losing the weight, all of my clothes were falling off and got some skinny jeans, and my husband is chasing me around the table again. I couldn't be happier.
Go to 88skinny.com to see this riveting free presentation. That's 88skinny.com. 88skinny.com.
Broken asphalt, great big potholes, faded parking lot lines as your curb appeal starts to unravel. Hi, it's me, Cheryl Obermiller, the Pothole Queen. And at my company, Obermiller Construction, we are still going strong, applying our asphalt expertise to commercial parking lots and increasing ROI for all of our clients. You'll be singing with me when your business has the best curb appeal in town. Maximize a commercial lease or improve the safety and attractiveness of your pavement by having us repair, seal coat, and stripe it for you. We'll help you create a customized plan to maintain your assets economically and environmentally. Find Obermiller Construction online at thepotholequeen.com for a free estimate. Get on our schedule before July 1st to receive up to $1,000 credit. See the website for details. And remember, I fix sidewalks and parking lots so no one falls down on your asphalt. Celebrating 21 years as a 100% woman-owned business, thepotholequeen.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-319-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-319-MY-TV.
At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-319-MY-TV. That's 877-319-MY-TV.
Today
Today is the day you switch to Rite Aid for one simple reason. Wellness Plus, the card that gives you credits you can use like cash. Plus, discounts that only members get. Plus, 20% off almost the entire store. Plus, that's for a whole year. Plus, rewards that start today and pile on every time you shop. So, if you're tired of missing out on all the pluses only Rite Aid delivers, visit RiteAidWellness.com to sign up and learn more today about Wellness Plus. Rite Aid. With us, it's personal.
Talkin' Kansas City. KCMO Talk Radio 710, now on FM at 103.7.
Welcome back to the home show on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. Cat scratch fever. I've got the veterinarians in the house. Doctors Regier and Farrell from Perimeter Veterinary Center are here with us, and we will address your pet questions. 576-7710. 576-7710. During the break, we were talking about the potential interaction between wild animals and our domesticated pets. Dr. Regier, if my dog should be bitten by a raccoon, a possum, I know a possum will do it too, what precautions do I need to take?
Precautions for interactions with wildlife are pretty universal. We need to be current with our rabies vaccination. Rabies is a pretty uncommon disease, but in our area, it's typically raccoons and skunks that carry rabies. Raccoons in our area can transmit and carry the same distemper virus that dogs can get.
Oh.
So stay current on the distemper vaccination. Really, the biggest interaction with our issue after that with wildlife is doing good parasite prevention. The various wildlife types spread pathogens and parasites that our pets can pick up. So monthly heartworm preventive products take care of those intestinal parasites. Mm-hmm. The HeartGuard, Trifexis, Revolution, there are so many preventives that your veterinarian may recommend. Most of them have some kind of internal parasite prevention included. The other thing that we worry about is a bacterial disease called leptospirosis. It's not what we consider a core vaccine, but in this area we do. Leptospirosis is spread by all kinds of wildlife, and it is shed in the urine. It's one of the very common and hard to diagnose diseases that dogs and cats, especially who aren't vaccinated for leptospirosis, can get. Not all dogs go to the veterinarian to get vaccinated, so you need to make sure that the leptospirosis is part of your vaccine complement that your pets are getting.
And I think that's interesting because we commonly realize, I think pet owners realize that they have to vaccinate for rabies, and I think many understand that they have to vaccinate for distemper. There are a number of other things like that we need to vaccinate for. What do you consider a reasonable regimen of vaccines for a dog or a cat?
We'll run through both really quickly. For dogs and cats, both, rabies vaccination. It's required by law. Rabies is considered what we call zoonotic, transmissible to humans and animals. All species of mammal are susceptible to rabies disease, and it's 99.99% fatal. Very few people or animals survive exposure to rabies without being protected. For dogs, the distemper combination vaccine, often called DA2PP, DHPP, plus the leptospirosis component. Then for cats, the equivalent to that, we would say, would be the FVRCP. That's the complement of upper respiratory diseases and a diarrhea-type disease that is similar to parvo in dogs. And then for dogs, depending on their lifestyle, some dogs need Bordetella vaccine, which is one component of a complex of upper respiratory infections. It's much like getting a flu shot. It may not keep you from getting sick, but it might control severity of signs. And then for cats that go outside, any cat that goes outside or comes in contact with a cat that goes outside should be vaccinated for feline leukemia. So my kitties are inside all the time. They are not vaccinated. When we lived further out and they were allowed to go out during the day, they were vaccinated then. There are some other vaccines available. Canine influenza virus vaccine is available in the area. It's not what we call an endemic disease in Kansas City. So there may be a time that we start recommending that vaccination more frequently. Most of the other vaccines are lifestyle-based. There are some that were available for dogs and cats both that are really out of fashion now. We know that they really aren't preventing those specific diseases like we thought they were. So that's what I would call the mainstay or core of vaccines. Dr. Farrell, can you think of anything I might have left out?
No, I think you covered all of it. Those are the basics. And just like she said, we base it, at Perimeter, we base it on a case-by-case individual, and we look at your pet's specific lifestyle and come up with the appropriate regimen for your individual pet.
If people would like to call and make an appointment to come see one of the two of you with their pet, Dr. Farrell, what's the phone number?
It is 913-742-8387.
And I can tell you, you will be pleased when it happens. Now, Dr. Regier mentioned Bordetella. Kennel cough, is that am I just...
We do. It's a little bit of a misnomer. People call it the kennel cough vaccine, but in reality, there are multiple causes of kennel cough.
Okay.
Various viruses and bacteria. Bordetella is one of the more common ones. And as Dr. Regier was saying, doing the vaccine for Bordetella can decrease your severity of symptoms and upper respiratory disease. So you want to vaccinate your pet, but understand that they could get what people call kennel cough because it can be caused by other things as well.
Well, and it was brought to mind, it brings it to mind because at the boarding hotel, they call themselves, where we leave Rosie, it's required. They have to be, and it leads me to think. I go on the internet and I see all kinds of places where I can board my pet. I ride around town. I see all kinds of places with a sign out: board your pet, board your dog. What are the things? If I want to make sure that wherever I'm boarding my pet is a safe place to board.
Right.
What are the things I need to look for when I check those people out?
Well, one of the things you want to do is, ask your veterinarian if they have experience because they've talked with hundreds of people who've been to various places. And so they've probably heard the good and the bad. We have several places we really like. But most importantly, in my opinion, is visit. And if they don't want you to tour their facility, walk away. You should look for cleanliness. Obviously, you don't want to see urine or feces or anything like that or stuff laying around. Also, smell. If you are smelling a lot of urine or feces, they're not cleaning appropriately. And so you want to look for that as well. In my opinion, they also need to be requiring several vaccines, and this is not always the case, but they should require rabies. They should require the distemper parvo, and in my opinion, in this area, leptospirosis, and the Bordetella vaccine. And they also should be requiring a negative fecal or a deworming of some sort, and that's something that a lot of boarding facilities miss. And if they aren't requiring it, because a lot don't, you just want to talk with your veterinarian about, okay, they're not requiring this fecal exam, so how do I make sure my pet's protected? And that's going to be using your heartworm preventions that have intestinal parasite stuff in them, and then also potentially a deworming after your boarding stay if that's warranted, depending on the area that you're in.
You're listening to The Home Show on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. I have the veterinarians in the house with me today from Perimeter Veterinary Center, Drs. Farrell and Regier. Dr. Regier, it has been a very mild summer, but still, like right now, today, it's going to be really hot. And people might be taking their dog in particular out. I see people running with their dogs. I see people out with the dog on a leash. I see the dog running alongside the bicycle. Just briefly, what are the signs of heat stroke in a dog, and what do I do about it?
Heat stroke and heat stress are very serious conditions. Panting that is excessive, collapse, profound weakness that starts all of a sudden, profound vomiting and diarrhea that starts pretty quickly, and it can go from things seeming okay to things being an emergency in pretty short order. What we need you to do is we need you to get in the car, go to one of the 24-hour emergency facilities right away. Call on your way. Don't waste any time. The time you take to get there can be the difference between saving your pet's life or not. Don't try to cool them yourself. Get in the car and travel.
And that is about a wrap-up for the home show this week. I want to say thank you to the doctors from Perimeter Veterinary Center, Andrea Farrell, Tabitha Regier.
Thank you for having us, Tom.
Thanks,
and
Tom.
you, ladies and gentlemen, join us again next week for the home show.